So what is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another video here on the Frickflyers YouTube channel, and today we're doing part number 1, maybe part number 2 of a little series I'm going to try to make about the Mutant. Now, as you guys probably know, if you already know the Mutant, you know that it's not really, we can't do a series because it's not going to have a start and a finish. It's going to be a process, but I'm going to try to run you through the process from at least from when I get it to when I compete with it. Hopefully I'll be able to use it in the World Championships in October. So we'll try to progress until then, and if I see that I can't, I'll slow down. If I see that I can use earlier, I'll speed up. It's going to be a process, and I'm going to take you guys along with me to figure this beast out. So the first episode was not really an episode, more of a, a live stream that I did really quickly unboxing the Mutant. If you've unboxed normal Vector 3, you know it came in this little box and everything came disassembled. This is really similar to a Vector unboxing, okay? It's just a UPT Vector 3. This side, at least, as you guys can see, I'm gonna go really quickly over it. It's a normal Vector, a V303, Mutant pink on one side, blue on the other side, and I, of course, have the main sponsor logo in the middle. And it's normal, all black, nothing special. Here's a side-by-side comparison with a normal Vector. I don't know if this is a 303, but it's a normal Vector, as you can see, and they look exactly the same. Now let's talk about the important part, which is not the container, but actually the harness. So here is the Mutant harness and container system, and in all its glory. So in its essence, the Mutant comes from the necessity of using paragliding harness in skydiving because it's much more useful. And I don't know about every video I've seen so far, at least talking about the Mutant, it's been about someone explaining how it translates really well from paragliding or wherever. And I know all that, but I want to give my opinion from as someone who's never done any sort of paragliding, speed flying, nothing. I've just skydiving. I was kind of hesitant because I saw so much stuff talking about doing your paragliding license and whatever to get a Mutant, and I was like, yeah, I'm never going to get that because I don't want to fly paragliding. I just want to, compete in swooping. And eventually people maybe started getting a little bit more understanding of what this actually can do for skydiving and for skydiving competitions, so that in a way it's becoming more available to everyone, and especially people who haven't paraglided. And basically this all started when jumping my red rig. If you guys saw my older videos, jumping my red rig, that thing had a particular way it attached to my body where the rings were a little bit lower and the laterals were a little bit wider than they needed to be. And this made it super mega comfortable for canopy piloting. It made me be able to sit back really well and not have the rig pick me up and shift my weight forwards. Which is, again, it's not comparable to the Mutant. I mean, it's not like the Mutant at all, but it's kind of comparable in my head at least. And when I got my blue rig, which was more free fly focused, it was a little bit tighter on the laterals, and the rings were a little bit back. So it definitely felt like less of a nice rig for canopy piloting, and I really missed that rig because I only had a blue one. And when I got my Javelin, I asked specifically for that. I wanted the rings to be low, and I wanted the laterals to be wide for me to be able to fit first of all fit a weight belt underneath, which when you're actually flying the canopy, the weight belt is under the lateral, so it's fine. But walking around is more comfortable. And secondly, just because in canopy piloting is so much more comfortable, when you want to sit back, you're sitting back. When you want to lean forwards, you have all the normal space to lean forwards. And so, with this being said, I kind of experimented with attaching, because it's an articulated rig. I picked up an old articulated rig I had, and I thought, okay, since the Mutant is lower, what if we put, instead of the attachment point being here, we just put it here, and just playing around, I didn't jump with it. And what I noticed is the thing that's the tightest when you move the ring lower is your laterals. So let's say that the benefits is having the rings lower. And in a skydiving rig, if you put the rings lower, what are the two problems? First, the opening. If the rings are picking you up from the hips, it can throw you in head down. It can make the line, bend your back backwards if you have a very hard opening. It can be a whole assortment of issues. And also the laterals are super tight. So even if you have the rings here, you wouldn't be able to really sit back and fly the canopy properly because it would just, compress your back because the laterals are so tight. So with this Mutant being the transition from a skydiving rig to a from paragliding rig to or speed riding rig to a skydiving rig, it fixes just those two things. So on the opening, you want the pickup to be here, and that's where it is. Of course, it's connected down here, but it's also connected here through an inverse 3-ring system. So when you open, you're connected through here, and you have this belt, which is like a belly band, that's connected, making the laterals nice and tight, so that the rig is not moving on your back and you don't fall through the hole in the back in your laterals from it being too big. So on opening, it's pretty much like a normal rig. It feels nice and tight. It feels nice. After you open the parachute, that's when the fun begins. With this little ball here, you can cut away. You're gonna pull it. I'm not gonna pull it all the way, but the cables are pretty long. But you can cut away the top part and only be connected in the bottom part, and then you're hanging from your hips. And then of course the laterals are gonna be tight. So what do? You disconnect this laterals, and you have kind of this system here where they slide and they increase in size. So you can imagine the laterals being tight and they get way longer. So you go from having free flight tight laterals to nice and long laterals. So that's basically what the Mutant harness is. Right now I have my 62 in here with a 120 reserve, which is everything is nice and tight. Also these risers, they are the 27-inch risers, which are the soup specific risers, I believe. I don't know, for free fly this might not be ideal. If I do feel like this is not good for free flying, I might order like longer risers just to use. So the things that are also included, of course, a knife, and the reserve operation is normal, just like a Vector. It doesn't have skyhook. There's also straps under here so that you don't fall through the butt, and they're connected with soft links. These nice buckles with springs, I think that's also nice. And one last thing, of course, everybody knows this: if you cut away with the normal cutaway handle, it will cut away the 4 fixation points. So everything will be released and you'll be free to open your reserve. So this is quite a tricky harness to fly. It introduces a new dimension. You can of course control with, for instance, the rear risers and the fronts and the toggles. You can control everything. You can control roll, you can control the canopy's pitch, and with this harness you can control, with a harness normally, with your normal harness, flying the normal harness, with only harness inputs, you can control your roll. And you can also kind of control your pitch in a sense that if you lean forwards, you're kind of putting more weight on the nose of the canopy, and you're kind of making the canopy a little bit more sensitive on rears. You're also going to be able to make the canopy recover a little bit better if you're leaning forwards. But that's pretty much, you're limited to induce extra speed. If you're just normally flying, you can't make the canopy like fly a lot better. Of course, for instance, if you're coming back from a long spot and you really want to put weight on the nose of the canopy, so you can make it really fly really well and pitch up, let's say, you can put a little bit of your weight on the nose of the canopy. And it will kind of do that also because of your body position area. But what that's making is it's changing your weight, your balance point, your center of gravity, sorry, on the canopy, and it's putting a little bit of more weight on the front so that the rears are a little bit better flying. But it's not really, helping to control the pitch of the canopy. And with this rig, you're actually introducing the pitch control, movement control, and that's why you need to have special coaching to fly this harness. And I'm going to do that coaching in Emporia Brava on this weekend, so it's like 2 days from now. And I'm going to try to do as many videos as I can about the process and going there with Pete Allen. He's also, of course, going to help all the tips and tricks about the rig and how to set it up. We're probably not going to be filming that because that's, if you're going to do it, you're going to have the course. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions about the Mutant harness, let me know, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities. And I'll see you guys on the weekend.